Yes, I've thought a lot about it. And I've realized that you, me, and Arlecchino should be friends. I think this is very important. So I felt I had to come and tell you.
Well, this is a new one. I'm so moved. I can't even hold my teacup. If that's all, you can leave now.
Do you not want to be friends with me? Or is it that you prefer being co-workers?
What is this, Columbina? Are you deliberately testing my patience threshold? Right now, my politeness module is active. But if you say another word, I swear I'll shut it down.
If your politeness module was active, wouldn't you say the word please at some point?
Polonia, please see Lady Columbina to the door.
Will you still invite me to your next tea party?
What?
Yes, I think you will. Bye-bye, dear Sandrone.
Last time, the Wild Hunt escorted you out. Would you rather I handled it myself this time?
We just wanted to, see how you were doing now that it's all over.
Why? Out of concern for my safety? I hope you didn't seriously think that the Rayhir of Solnari would be able to lay so much as a finger upon me, given how prepared I was.
Mostly because you kind of helped us out, so we just wanted to check you were okay.
Oh, don't you worry about that. Tea time is already a write-off. The visitor before you managed to kill my appetite. If you're in the mood for tea, go ahead and help yourself. Otherwise, it's going to waste. My coasters are still missing in action, though. Use this notebook instead.
Whoa! Pretty hefty notebook.
You can ignore those. They're just dumb scribblings. I doodle and write in my free time. Sometimes I remember the distant, dreamlike past. Sometimes I imagine the far-flung future. And other times, I grit my teeth and note down all the crazy nonsense going on in the present. Some people do the crosswords in the newspaper. This is my equivalent of that. Trying to predict the future is like daydreaming. And writing about the present just makes me furious. The past is my favorite. If nothing else, it's Although, having said that, the only vaguely interesting memory in my past is... who else? Pretty much all the mecha and Fontaine are his personal handiwork.
Wait, are you saying you know him? Like,
I mean, I guess we were friendly enough. Yep. In fact, I'm probably the only normal person left who knew him at all. We used to chat occasionally back when he was still around. Before he passed away, he asked me to destroy all his manuscript. I honored his request. But I did read through everything first before destroying them. I mean, I couldn't let the genius of Lord Artificer Alain Guillotin disappear like that.
so... that's where the formulas...
I just told you. Those are my equivalent of crossword puzzles. They're just dumb formulas that I solve for fun. Alain's work was like epic poetry. The formulas in my notebook are just silly little riddles in comparison. Not that there's anything bad about them. I mean, at least, solving those riddles isn't going to hurt anyone. Except me. Anyway, while we're on the topic, I might as well tell you about what happened to him and his friend. Alain Guillotin had two close buddies, Renee and Jacob. They spent their childhood years together in the Narzissenkreuz Institute. They were all quite competitive, so there was some rivalry between them. But beneath the friendship and the rivalry ran something deeper. Unfortunately, childhood would end. The prophecy would come true. The apocalypse would arrive, a mad dream that would normally only capture the minds of lunatics, begin to take root in their hearts. And if Renee and Alain had been people of lesser wits, that dream would probably have ended up as something for them to joke about. But alas, they were some of the sharpest minds around. They nurtured that dream. The first of them to fall under its spell was Renee. Against Alain's wishes, he persisted in experimenting on a mutual friend of theirs to try and save their life. Alain did not approve. It's complicated. Alain wanted to believe that Renee only did what he did for this. Perhaps the seed that would grow into a nightmare had already sprouted in Renee's mind. Even the next time they met, Renee's soul had been completely engulfed by the dream of salvation. And although that wave died down eventually, I hear that it just recently came back. As I understand, Rene wanted to live out his dream of salvation once more. But I'm told that the attempted resurgence finally died out for good. What do you think of Rene? Do you admire his transcendent genius, or do you despise him? Same difference, really. Just a matter of perspective. Doesn't surprise me. You share one thing in common after. The only difference is, your dream came true. I don't like fanatics who give up their whole lives for their ideology. Maybe I could understand if Rene had just been an ordinary person. Anyway, that's enough about Rene. Now, moving on to Alain Guillotin, the Lord Artificer. He managed to put a stop to the first storm whipped up by Rene. To his credit, I suppose, the loss of his family and friends was purely after that. The only thing supporting his work was the same dream, but although the desire to save Fontaine drove him to found the Fontaine Research Institute, I think that formulas and machines derived solely from human intellect. Yet Alain's intellect was simply too great. Once he realized that the end of his life, he quit working on his formulas. He told me that the director of the Narzissenkreuz Institute used to read those fairy tales. I think that all he wanted at that time in his life was to be able to sleep. At the very end, he laid down to rest in the ruins of the many years after that. And that is the story of two people from the One went all in on his fantasy. The other sought desperately to burn. I do sometimes wonder, why is it that even the grandest tree starts as a tiny seed? They were young children with friends, or maybe they just wanted to find something to anchor themselves with, but instead, the search for their Do you think the desire to save oneself is enough of a justification? The way you said that sounded just like he gave the exact no elaboration. All right, tea time's over. I owe Arlecchino a favor for telling me these stories. I'll have to bring a whole... I'm gonna go tinker with Polonia now. You guys can do whatever you want, as Polonia, exit hibernation mode. Begin diagnostics.